Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so I just found a clip on YouTube talking about the difference between how men and women perceive attraction, and I think what I'm going to point out to you is going to shock you. So you know how you have all these dating relationship coaches online, and you've got these guys, I can't remember the name of the group right now, and they basically invite these girls in, they do this podcast, and one guy just rips them all apart and calls them 304s. Oh yeah, it's because you're a 304 and he sounds like this. And then there's the nicer guy that sounds like this, and then there's the cute little Asian girl with a little hat on from the, I forget the age, the government, the war, probably World War I, I can't remember the name of that country. But she wears that Bolshevik, I think it is, maybe not. But the point is you listen to these people, you listen to the men talk, and you listen to the women talk. And here's the thing. When you guys take my course, Cracked Female Code, you will clearly see what they are both missing on both sides of the fence. So when I watch these, it's amazing to see how blind men and women are to each other, and I mean completely blind. Because men are like, well, why would you say that? That's so horrible. And the women are like, what are you talking about? Doesn't this attract you? And they're like, oh my God, you're I'm going to say the word, you're a whore, and saying all these horrible words and stuff. But believe it or not, okay, I'm going to use this little 23-second clip that I took from this video, this short on YouTube, and I'm going to show you something you've never seen before. We are so different. Like I said, we literally speak two different languages. We use two different processors, the left brain processor and the right brain processor. They're two different processors that give two completely different meanings to the same words we use and to the body language. We have two different forms of body language, two different languages, and our mating systems are connected to two different parts of our brain. So what you consider to be normal, she thinks is crazy, rude, disrespectful, or it's a turn off, etc. But the thing is, what you're doing is the way that you're wired. You need to learn how she's wired so you can trigger her mating system in the way that she likes, desires, and understands. Women have been screaming about this for centuries. The problem is they don't know that you don't know. They assume, well, he's just like me. He has the same neurological wiring, the mating system wired to this part of the brain as I do. No, we are not wired the same. We are like foreigners to each other. But my course, Crack the Female Code, breaks this down and teaches you how to do it in the way that triggers her mating system. This is the most seductive power on the planet. There's nothing that even comes close to this. Okay, take a listen to what this young lady says.
Do you understand why guys would have a problem with a woman with a high body count, though?
I think it's insecurity. Do they really want to have a woman that is just a virgin? Because she's not going to be good, and she's going to have no experience.
They don't need you to be good, though.
That's so boring. Isn't that
It's
boring?
not boring.
It's like you haven't been to it enough, that's why I like you. I think that's crazy. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
They don't.
Women literally think it's insecurity. It's not. We think it's nasty. Okay, so let's start off here. The average man listening to her would be like, oh, she's just lying through her teeth. We honestly don't believe she actually means that, because to us, like, what do you mean? Why would we want a woman that's had sex with 100 different guys? Because to us, that's insane. I don't know about you, but to me, a woman who slept around, had 20, 30, 40 guys, that is a massive sexual turn off. It does not turn me on at all. But women, now here's the thing. This is the part that you think that girl and other women think that they're lying. I know I do. I honestly look at her like, oh, she's lying. But because of what I know she's not lying. Because you have to look at the women's neurology. What she's expressing is, for me, this is what makes me feel good. This is what attracts me. Now, as a male, you're looking at her going, why? Now, there's a couple biological factors involved here. Number one, from the men's perspective, we're all about cleanliness. And you're thinking, well, I thought women aren't. No, women can be some of the nastiest creatures on the planet. Sorry to say it that way. But for men, because we have to fight in wars, if you get a cut, I remember when I was in the army, in the military, I remember them saying, if you get a cut, go get it cleaned out and get it bandaged. And I'm like, well, it's just a little cut. And I remember the drill sergeant screamed at me. He goes, that little cut can turn into an infection within a couple days, and within a week, we've got to fucking send you to the hospital, and now you're not on the front lines. And I'm like, man, I never thought of it like that. So he said, when you get cut, you get a puncture, you get anything, you go see the medic and you have him look at it, clean it out, and if he needs, he'll send you to the doctor. You need to make sure that you are tip-top shape. So cleanliness for men is everything. It's part of our survival. Here's the other biological factor. If a woman receives a man I have to use these words. If a woman receives a man sexually inside her vagina, that is a perfect breeding grounds for bacteria and viruses. With a male penis, because it's external, it is exposed to the air all the time, especially in the caveman era. It doesn't get as infected as often. It can, yes, but all we have to do is jump in the shower and wash off with soap and we're good to go. In fact, I'll give you a little STD clinic right now. There's a really important thing that you need to do, even if you use a condom. Number one, immediately after having sex, jump in the shower. Even if you only have water, that's good enough, especially if you're in like the United States where we have chloramine, which has chlorine and ammonia. That will kill off any bacteria. Or you can use soap, and especially like a liquid soap that has antibacterial, like dish soap and stuff like that. That'll kill it too. So pretty much anything, even alcohol, rubbing alcohol or whatever. So the number one thing you need to do, and you have to do this in less than 45 minutes. See, a lot of guys will have sex and then fall asleep. Well, that's what causes the problems. What you need to do is jump in the shower, clean off, and then urinate, because then your urine cleans everything. I forget what's in there. There's chemicals, uric acid, or there's something else in there. There's cleansers in there. In fact, that's another thing that you can clean off on the outside. Piss, and then wipe yourself down there if you don't have anything else. So number one, wash, clean off. Number two, urinate, okay? If you have to make yourself drink water, do it. So here's the deal. It has to be done in under 45 minutes from when you begin. So if you're like having a long-term kind of thing going on and on, jump in the shower and then go back at it. And then afterwards, jump in the shower again. So the reason why we are biologically wired for a woman to be a virgin, or if we could choose, we'd want a virgin, is because her womb and vagina is a bacterial haven. I mean, it is built and designed as a breeding ground, literally. So this is why it's imperative that women don't sleep around, because it's easier for them to get infected. So for men, yeah, that's a major plus. That's a major attraction. Now here's the other reason. So okay, now let's go to the female side. So you might be going, why in the hell would a woman think that a man wants a woman who slept around? A lot. We don't. But women do not believe us. Now they think that we're lying. Because from her perspective, like, what are you talking about? He's got all that experience. He knows what he's doing. See, when you're a young man and you first had sex, your first 10 times or more, you've stumbled and fumbled and bumbled, and she felt like a piñata, like, Jesus Christ. It was really uncomfortable because you clearly didn't know what the hell you were doing. So here's the other factor, and it really is the same thing I just described. Men who don't have experience, the problem is that the female body is more complicated. For men, I'm just going to be blunt, it's going to be kind of cold. We just need, literally, I'm going to say it, we just need a hole to stick it in and we're good to go, especially up until we're about 50 years old or 45. We don't really need much stimulation. Like, once we see a woman's body, we're ready to go. A woman, it takes a lot longer than that. Now, I haven't even got to it yet, but I'm going to get to it in a second. So here's the deal. The male mating system, like I said in all my videos, it's in the lower reptilian brain. It has a nerve that connects to the optic nerve, which connects to our eyes. Once we see a woman's body move and wiggle, her nipples, her boobs, we are freaking ready to go. And women, for the life of them, they're like, but why? That doesn't make any sense. For a woman, it literally is a step-by-step process. And guess what? It's a hidden code. It's a hidden process that I teach in my course, Crack the Female Code. So for now, as I said in all my videos, both our mating systems in the lower reptilian brain, but she has a nerve that curves off to the right brain's female's communication center. The right brain is the female brain, the left brain is the male brain. So when you're Mr. Logical, believe it or not, you're turning her off. So women need to communicate with you first. First, you got to communicate what's on the mentally stimulating. I'm touching my forehead, so forehead to forehead. And you're like, mentally stimulating communication, what's that? Well, I'll teach that to you in the course. So you have to do that for a while. It could be 7 minutes, could be 2 or 3 dates, it could be 4 or 5 meetings. If you do it right, and you do all the steps right, correctly, you can literally have her in bed within 45 minutes to an hour. And a lot of guys are like, oh no, just pay for dinner, that's faster. I had a client that was paying for $125+ dinners, plus taking her out to the most expensive clubs. It was like $40 entry fee for each person, plus each glass of whatever cost $35+ each. I mean, this guy would spend hundreds of dollars on a date. And I'm like, well, what's your purpose for doing all that stuff? He goes, well, to get laid. I'm like, well, how long have you been dating this woman? He goes, oh, about 2.5 months. I'm like, and you think that's fast? Because he still hadn't had sex with her. Okay? So he had spent thousands of dollars, but he was convinced, but Mike, spending money on a woman, taking her out to dinners and taking her out to clubs, that's the way to do it. No, it's not. I met a girl at a bookstore, which luckily was only about 3/4 of a mile away. We just happened to talk. I was looking at relationship books. She was, why are you talking and you doing that? And then I just kind of thought, let's do it. So I started speaking in the right brain language, the internal language, boom, boom, boom. 45 minutes later, we're in my bed taking our clothes off. Women are stimulated differently, and it's a foreign object. It's a foreign thing, a foreign subject to men. They're like, well, no, you just, be egotistical. You get your hair done. No, I'm telling you, that you guys are wasting your time doing that shit. So now back to her mating system. Number one, it takes a lot longer to trigger because after you do the mentally stimulating, then you got to do the emotionally fulfilling hidden language. It's the right brain internal language, which is completely a foreign entity to the male brain. You're like, emotional fulfilling what? Sounds weird, I know, but goddamn does it turn women on. If you do this, she's going to have sex with you because step 3 is connecting groin to groin, forehead to forehead, heart to heart, groin to groin. There's literally a 3-step process, but you have to learn the other pieces that connect with this three-step process. So now you're having sex with her. This is what this girl in the video is talking about. She's like, what are you talking about? I have a lot of experience, so I'm going to be great in bed. The reason why this is important to women is because for women to have an orgasm, it is very, very hard compared to most men. Okay? Most women, 60 plus, maybe 80% of women don't just come like men do. Like literally, all we need to do is look at a hot woman's body, start having intercourse, and we have an orgasm. It's not hard at all. For a woman, you got to kiss her gently, you got to talk in the right brain language, you got to mentally stimulate her, you got to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And here's the thing, you have to learn how to do things indirectly, which is another what are you talking about? It is an art, guys, I'm telling you. So the more experience a man gets, now he knows how to touch her body in what way, not to push too hard, not to hurt her, but to turn her on, and when to turn up the heat. See, a lot of guys, if you hit it too hard, too fast, too soon, it's going to turn her off sexually while she's having sex with you. And she's like, yeah, I'm not interested. And you're like, we're already doing it. From a male perspective, he's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What's wrong? Because we're ready to go. We're already doing it. A woman's body sexually has different knobs, different design, different wiring, and it takes a little bit of understanding what the hell is going on. So for a woman, if a man has a lot of experience, he can turn her on sexually and be great in bed, and then she can have an orgasm, and that's what she wants. Because most men think, well, I had an orgasm, so she had one. No, I'm telling you, a lot of times when men have orgasms, women don't. She's sitting there looking at you like, God, I wish you knew what you were doing. And yes, I teach this separately from Cracked Female Code course. I teach a little bit in there, but I teach this separately afterwards. So for women, a man that is experienced and has a lot of experience is an absolute bonus, plus is extremely attractive because he knows how to take care of her mental, emotional, and physical sexual needs. A guy that doesn't, well, it's kind of boring. And isn't that exactly what she said in the video?
Do you understand why guys would have a problem with a woman with a high body count, though?
I think it's insecurity. Do they really want to have a woman that is just a virgin? Because she's not gonna be good and she's gonna have no experience.
They don't need you to be good, though.
That's so boring. Isn't that
It's
boring?
not boring.
It's like you haven't been doing it, that's why I like you. I think that's crazy. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
They don't.
See, she said it's boring. She literally said that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because the last thing a woman wants is to have sex with a man, and she's just laying there like a dead fish going, yeah, this isn't doing anything for me. So if you do not know this, there's a certain series of things you can do that really stimulate a woman's vagina or clitoris, etc. Now here's the thing, it's not the male way of thinking, it's the internal way. The male brain is ramming in and out, in and out, in and out. Believe it or not, but that's not the female way. It's actually going to surprise you what I teach you in this course. Here's another factor. There's a social factor involved. So if you're a guy that's with a lot of women, women are very group oriented, like a wolf pack. I'm serious. And everyone has to be okayed by everyone in the group. Like women okay, I'm just talking about women in the groups. Even in high school, they have a little pack that they run around in. If you sleep with a guy just because you're horny, that is unacceptable, and they will punish her. They will put, as my goddaughter said, yeah, if you don't fit in, they'll put you at the bottom of the group if you don't abide by the rules, and everyone treats you like shit until you earn your way back up to where you don't get treated like shit. She goes, trust me, you don't want to be at the bottom of the group. Women literally police each other on when you can and when you cannot have sex with a man. I know it sounds nuts, but they do. They're very wolfpack oriented. So, now watch this. What I teach in my course, Cracked Female Code, the hidden language, the hidden art, the hidden way, etc., etc., I'm not even talking about the physical sexual stuff. This is what women are talking about. See, when you take my course and you learn how to do this with a woman, she can go back to her group and say, hey, you're not going to believe what he did. He did this, he said this in this way, and then he said this, and they're like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, I'm so glad for you. So now she's been approved of having sex with you. So there's a social factor. Another social factor is like, oh, he's one of those guys. Oh, he dates a lot of women. And so then they're like, oh, wow, you got a good one. So there's a social factor. It's that last one I just gave you is an egotistical factor of, oh, you're with a lot of girls. That must mean there's something special about you, which means you are what they consider a high value man. Now, if you think having money alone or being tall alone is high value, you are completely and totally wrong. So there's something called social proof, which is what dating other women does for you. But learning how to speak in this way and do these hidden things gives you social value in the female world. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what your bros think, man. That's not going to get you laid. You take Cracked Female course and you practice this stuff and get really good at it. Trust me, all her friends are going to be talking about it. So some guys are born blessed. They're 6'2" and taller, 6'1" and taller. They might have a bigger bank account and this and this and that. But here's the difference. They can only compete with other guys that are shorter and don't have a big bank account, who also don't know how to do the hidden way, the Cracked Female Code way, who don't know how to stimulate her in the way that she needs to be stimulated. And again, I'm not talking about sexual touching at all. There's a hidden way that triggers her mating system. If you have this and get really good at it, or even medium good at it, these tall 6'2", 6'4" guys that have a bank account, they can't compete with you. There is a hidden core piece that nobody's teaching. You learn how to do this, and you're the one who's going to be in power. The other thing this does for you is it gives you options of women that you can date. Suddenly, you get to pick who you want to date when, and that's extremely attractive to the female mating system. Now to wrap this up, what she was talking about is what turns her on, and this is what this course is going to show you how to do. See, you think, well, this is what I like, therefore she's going to like it. No, that's going to irritate her and really piss her off. Romancing a woman in the male way, the way that we're wired neurologically, sexually, will not turn her on. It will piss her off. For example, the male way is directly. You say A and you mean A. Nothing will bore a woman to tears or piss her off than being direct with her. It's sex and romance is not a direct subject. It is an indirect right brain subject. The right brain is the relationship brain. When you're with a woman, or even socially, the right brain is the social brain. When you're in a crowd of people, or even at a business party, that's a social event. Most men come to these parties, go to the clubs in their logical brain. They're trying to impress each other. They're trying to outdo each other, which sexually turns women off because it forces her to leave her right brain, which, by the way, is where her mating system is connected to. If you're in your logical, egotistical brain, you pull her over to her left brain, and thus you turned her off sexually. And now you just friend-zoned yourself. So here's the deal. She's talking about herself. If you have a high body count, that is extremely attractive to a woman. So she projects that onto men and goes, well, that's what men want in us too. No, we don't. There literally is a method to this madness. There is an answer, and it will give you clarity, which will give you power. Start right now by buying my book, Crack the Female Code. That book will change your life. You will look at women in a radically, completely different way. Better yet, buy the ultimate package. It prepares you for my course, Crack the Female Code. It's a 6-day training. If you want to change this area of your life and have more power in this area of your life, sign up now. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at crackthefemalecode.com. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.